Hey wonderful people, welcome back to my channel. It's Mili, guys. I know it's been a minute since I did a video hair related or whatever, but yeah, I've just not, to be quite honest, I've not really been motivated to make videos, especially hair videos, for whatever reason. So you could see my hair is in crochet braids, locks, and yeah, I've just like been really like not motivated. I find like my channel has not been growing as I think it should, and I'm like, am I really making sense? Do my videos really make sense? Like, should I really be making videos? So guys, I'm wondering if you could hear me properly, because I am in one of my favorite spots, my favorite places to be. I'm sitting right next to the beach in the car. I really like to come here, like whether it be to just have my lunch, to journal, to just sit and relax. Let me show you all. You all can see. So yes guys, so that's where I am, and I'm wearing one of my favorite shirts. Can y'all see? It says just so. That's one of my favorite phrases, like just so. You could either say it like just so, like a question, like really, or like just so. So maybe I should put up the glass a little bit so you all can hear me properly. So guys, recently my husband sent me flowers at work, and that's something that he normally does, and then it brought me back to something that happened like some time ago. That brings me to the story time I have for y'all today concerning flowers, because my husband sent me flowers just like 2 weeks ago. So I was like, you know what, I should really make a story time about that time this guy sent flowers to my workplace. And the funny thing about it is, his child's mother like works in the same, how would I say it, ministry with me. We didn't work like in this on the same floor, but it was the same, you know, ministry, no government ministry. So that happened like quite a few years ago. If you hear me say government ministries, you know it happened quite a few years ago, but it's funny. So yes guys, the story, and I mean that happened quite a few years back, so that's a while. So but I know you're like soaps, and it's been a while since I've done a video, and so I'm like, okay, let's give that little story since I got flowers like recently, and that brought back the memories. Head of boots. So I was working in this government ministry, and I used to do Spanish classes like after work, like, you know, the evening classes. I think, what do they call it, the Colombian Institute of Venezuela Institute, one of these institutes, but they used to give like Spanish classes. I wonder if they still give the classes, but they used to give the classes. And I, you know, love Spanish. I mean, if you know me personally, you know that, you know, part of my family Spanish, and I would spend a lot of summer vacations in like Venezuela and stuff. So the point is, you know, I'm trying to get to know, you know, the language better. So it was my friend and I doing the class. We started the classes, we did the first level, and then when we got to the second level, I think what happened is that she got another job somewhere. I think she got another job in the south, so it would be difficult for her obviously to come from the south, come to the north, but I was still in the north, so I ended up being in the class by myself. Now if you know me, I am the kind of, I'm like, how would I explain myself? So I am not shy, but if I am not in an environment where I'm very comfortable, or like I don't know the people, I'm going to be very quiet. So I was very quiet at that time. Not that I'm shy, I'm just, I don't know. And I have this thing I always have, like, you know how they say the resting bee face? Like my face is always like this. Like if you don't know me and you've seen me before, I'm sure that's how you describe my face. Is always like, okay. So I'm in the class, and there are a lot of like really like mature people in the class, because obviously it's not like secondary school students, whatever, like working people. So there are a lot of much more mature people than me in the class. So I'm very quiet, sitting in my little corner because my friend is no longer in the class. And there was this particular guy. He was always, for some reason, he would sit like across from me. So I'm sitting on this side of the class and he would sit like on the other end, but almost like in the same room. I don't know if it was a coincidence or whatever, because you know when you're in a class you tend to always sit in the same place. Okay, that's fine. But like after every weekend, the instructor would ask us to like give an account in Spanish of what we did for the weekend. And this guy, I don't know if he was, you know, almost like they have the class clown. I wouldn't say he was a class clown, but he would always give some responses that would like catch everybody's attention. He would say things like, you know, he went to the club and he went to the like strip club and stuff. Now at that time I didn't even know St. Lucia had a strip club. Like, you know, I mean, I'm not accustomed to these things. I don't know about these things. I didn't even know about clubbing, nothing like that. So I'd never, you know, done any of these things. So he would always speak about it. Everybody would be laughing and stuff. And I always used to find it weird. Like, it was not, I mean, it was not impressive to me, but hey. So this guy was known by a lot of the people in the class, the females in the class. So at the end of the class, because obviously the class is not in town, we would go to the road to like get a bus to town. So I could take my bus now to go home. So apparently there were other people in the class who knew him, and so when they would take a ride with him, they would ask me, you know, to come along too. I mean, it's not like they know me personally, but they're like, you know, like, Melissa, come. So I would, you know, take the ride too. So there was this one particular day, like the other people, they got off before me. I was the last person, because if you know where the before bus stop is, like in the evening they would come like across like the SNS on like Bridge Street, like Bridge Street area. So like on the way to dropping me off there, he asked me my name, I think he asked me where I was from, and he asked me where I worked. So, you know, I responded. I thought that was like normal conversation, you know, nothing too drastic. He wasn't asking me anything really personal, so that was fine. I told him, and you know, he dropped me off and that was fine. I took the bus, and you know, so a few days after that, I am getting a call like from the receptionist. At that time I was no longer working on the first floor, I was working on the third floor, because I used to work on the first floor and I moved to the, I got another position and I was on the third floor. So the receptionist on the third floor called me and said there are flowers for me, and I'm like, flowers for me? Like, Simas and I were dating at the time, but I mean, he didn't tell me anything and I wasn't expecting any flowers. So I'm like, okay, flowers for me. So for me, so I tried to ask them who it was that dropped the flowers, and the description that they gave, well, they got from the security person and the front, it did not fit in the description. And I called him and he was like, no. So it's like, who could have sent me flowers? Who could have sent me flowers? But there was this card like in the bouquet, you know, attached to the bouquet, you know, they have these little cards, and the card said Tuesdays and Thursdays are the happiest days of my week. So I'm like, Tuesdays and Thursdays are the happiest days of my week. So I tried to figure out, okay, who did I speak to recently? And then I thought about it. I'm like, okay, Tuesdays and Thursdays are the days I have the Spanish classes. So I remembered speaking to the guy, and I remembered he asked me recently where I worked. And then I'm remembering, okay, I do the classes Tuesdays and Thursdays. So I was like, okay, it has to be this guy. And then the description that they gave, you know, fit his description. And then somebody was telling me, you know, his child's mother is this person and she works on the third floor. So I'm like, what the hell, seriously? So at this point I got annoyed. I don't know about you. I don't know about you. How would you feel if you got flowers? But I wasn't impressed. I was not impressed, you know, because I'm like, why would you do something like that? We've never really had like such like an intense conversation. You never asked me anything so personal about myself. Why do you think it's okay to send me flowers? So I'm like, I don't want these flowers. So I'm like, and that specific day I had a class. I don't know if it was a Tuesday or a Thursday, but I had the Spanish class. So there was this coworker of mine at that time. She was doing her degree and she had class. I was like, you know what, do you want the flowers? You could have the flowers. Like, go and show off to your friends that, you know, somebody give you flowers. So I gave her the flowers because I'm like, I don't want these flowers. So I gave her the flowers and I went to my Spanish class. And you know, we had the class and everything. And I realized he kept on looking at me. So I was like, you know what? He's maybe like trying to figure out what did I do with the flowers that he sent. Because by that time, I was convinced he was the one who sent me the flowers. So after the class, I was like, were you the one who sent me the flowers? And he was like, yes. Like, what happened? I'm like, why did you do that? I wasn't happy about it. And I would appreciate if you don't do that in the future. And to be honest, I cannot remember the guy's response. All I know is that after that day, the guy never said hello to me. He would pass me by the road. Remember I told you I used to get a ride like with the other people. So the other people would get on his vehicle and I would stand by the road and he would just pass me straight. He never said hello to me. He never gave me a ride, which I was fine with, and he never spoke to me. Now, you know, this guy is well, I mean, he owns some business, and I guess he was popular. He used to come to the class with different cars, like very expensive cars, and all of these things. So I don't know if he thought, like, you know, it was okay to try to impress women with his whatever. But I was not impressed. And then years after that, like, he would come up like on, how would I say it? I don't want to give too much information about the person. His name would come up in like very controversial how would I say it, situations concerning women. So I was like, so did I look like a little prude with my little brown eyes? You know, he was trying to, you know, try to take away my little virgin innocence. Like, I don't know what he was trying to do, because I mean, from what I have been hearing over the years, like when his name comes up, I mean, he's not a very nice person when it comes to women. So I was like, Jesus, thank you that I was not caught in that kind of thing, because, you know, getting too impressed by the flowers. So this is my little story time. I hope you find it was, you know, juicy and interesting. I don't know, my life is not that my life is not that interesting, you know, but I just felt I wanted to give that little story time of when this guy sent flowers to my workplace, like a little psycho. Not impressed, guys. I don't know if the women like it, but I think you should try to, like, get to know somebody better before you sending flowers. So guys, yes, and guys, please don't be sending, I don't know, but don't be sending flowers to people's workplace like randomly. Don't do these things. So y'all traumatizing people. Y'all traumatizing people, because now when people get flowers, they're like kind of afraid, like, is it like a psycho? Is it like a weird person finding out like where you work and sending flowers? Don't do that. Anyways, guys, this is all for now. Hopefully the next time I come back, I will have a lovely hair video for you guys. But until next time, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and guys, please share this video with a friend. Subscribe if you haven't, and also let me know what videos you would like to, you know, receive from me. Until next time, bye.